race number 14, at least the scheduled post time, which of course we know is not a not written in blood, that's for sure.
Oh man.
Um, Post time for the 14th is 8:35 Eastern.
God damn.
So your old 10-hour day, 10 hour and 5 minutes.
8:30.
Yep. Yep, we have oh, Mr. Mudd is here.
Hello, hello.
It is 7.
Hello,
7
sir.
p.m.
Oh,
The post time for the Derby. 6:57, I
yeah,
see.
the Derby's 7. I thought you meant race number
Oh, the
14.
last race is 8:30. That's ridiculous. That's insane.
We're talking about the card on Saturday and how it always goes by so quick.
It really does. I especially like when I need to get like some random Kentucky trainer one of the last two races to get out for the day. That's what I always like. That's a
Well,
fun
we
part of the
used
day.
to have Chuck Simon for that, but now he doesn't train. So
I know
we
that
got
was
to
my
we're
training.
stuck.
I had two specialties in training horses. One was winning stakes at Kentucky Downs.
Taking the
That
double.
that these days would be a much more lucrative trait.
Yep.
I was winning those $750,000 stakes when they were 75. And after the Derby, post Derby, that was like a thing, man. We scored out a couple times.
Oof.
It's crazy because when you're coming up and it might be, I don't know, maybe it's more controlled now, but when we're coming up for the race, there was so many people leaving because so many people park on the backside and walk over. And it's after the Derby, everybody's leaving. So when you're coming over for the race after the Derby, you have to go against the tide of
Oh
people
man, that's rough.
that are coming up. We wound up walking the horses on like because you come up at Churchill around the first turn, so we wind up on the rail because there'd be so many people leaving at that point. They just getting out, and of course, a lot of those people weren't sober at that point.
Yeah, you might get hit.
Yes, some of them did not have shoes. Some of them did not have other clothing attire. It was always an adventure, and once you got to the paddock, it was like a victory. But no, it was always cool to win on it. I won an early race one time. I think it was I don't think it was the first. I think it was the second race with a horse called Strength and Honor, who was a complete psycho of a horse. And he was
You
like,
say that a lot
he
about
was not.
your
I mean,
former
he
stable.
he was just he was a neurotic horse. We actually had to we padded his stall because he would not stop kicking.
Oh, that one. That's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. He had this thing about kicking, so um he wins the race and it was early in the day. It was like 11:30. And hey, this was the old Churchill before they put the new winter circle in. The old winter circle was not very big.
I was
And
gonna
that's the
say that
one,
was a little.
that's what they used for the early races. They didn't go out in infield all fancy like. So he wins the race and we all bet on him and he won easy. He was a super fast horse. It's funny, 20 years ago, he's an allowance horse running 108 buyers. And I mean, nowadays they don't run that in the Breeders' Cup Sprint a lot of times. So I make my way to the winner's circle, and as I'm kind of coming from the one side, I notice they're wheeling all these disabled jockeys into the winner's circle.
Oh,
So there's like 8 guys, and Ron Turcotte's there,
he had a
in
parking spot that year.
wheelchairs. And I'm thinking to myself, like now I'm in a full blown panic because I said this horse is kind of uncontrollable. And like I don't want to be the guy that's responsible for like Ron Turcotte getting
Right.
trampled in the winner's circle, right? So so I tell the photographer we circle him a couple times, and I think Edgar Prado wrote him, and I was like, listen, this has got to be real fast. All right, all right. I tell the photographer, listen, man, he's gonna walk him in. I'm gonna like stop him real quick, take the picture, and we're gonna move. And if we don't get it, then we don't get it. But He's not normal, you know. So he comes in and he walks in and he's like eyeing him up, and I'm like, I yell, you know, like real loud at him. He looks at me. Guy gets the picture. All right, Edgar, get off him. Let's get him out of here. Yeah, that was relief. But there's nothing better than winning on a big day like that early in the day, because then you get kudos the rest of the day.
Right, chilling.
Yeah, you don't have any more pressure. You don't have to worry about what's going on at the barn and all that other stuff, because a lot of stuff happens on the backside of Churchill Downs on Oaks and Derby Day, in that a lot of the backside help and the people that work back there and their families are there, and they have, you know, parties and cookouts and stuff right at the barns. So it's not just the people in the grandstand or in the infield. There's a ton of people. There's a ton of traffic that's normally not there, and it just adds to the pressure for horses in the Derby that and the Oaks, of course, that you know, just doesn't exist on normal days.
Yeah, you've told me those tacos with Rudy Rodriguez at Saratoga might be better.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Rudy always pays, which is good.
Yeah, it's always it's
Yeah.
always a key element to